Hello everyone and welcome back to Cookbook Chronicles. Today we are going to be doing a recipe from Sohla El-Waylly Start Here, and it is the nutty and salty gunpowder spice. It is meant for dunking, sprinkling, and or fun dipping. This video is going to be really short because we're going to just focus on this sprinkle or powder or dip, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. You have to make it. What you'll need is a quarter cup of whole and split chickpeas, quarter cup of split black gram, and quarter cup of white sesame seeds, quarter cup of unsweetened coconut flakes, 1 tablespoon cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon flax seeds, 20 curry leaves, not curry powder, that's completely different, and I will explain what it exactly is later. But you'll also need some kosher salt, some coconut sugar or brown sugar, Kashmiri red chili powder or cayenne pepper, a pinch of MSG, which is optional. I used it, but I forgot to include it in the beginning section, so you'll see that I include it a little bit later. To start, you are going to toast everything that is on this ingredient list and do it one by one. This way you're toasting everything evenly and there isn't stuff that gets stuck in the pan or burnt. Trying to toast sesame seeds with the chickpeas is just gonna be a bad time. So it is a slight bit time consuming, but please just do everything one by one. It is well worth it. Here I am toasting the coconut flakes. I could have got them a little bit darker, but I didn't really want to risk burning them because the small bits and pieces are kind of already toasting. So I pulled them off a little bit earlier. You could go a little bit darker for sure, but that's what I did. The flax seeds, my pan was ripping hot, so you could see that the flax seeds are kind of jumping around a little bit and they'll start popping out of the pan. So definitely lower the heat when you're going to be doing your flax seeds, because otherwise you're going to have a huge mess on your hands. Now, getting back to the curry leaves and them not being related to curry powder. Curry leaves are an herb. It's not related to curry powder whatsoever. They are, however, related to citrus, and most of the time they are crisped up in oil. They have a very musky and pungent aroma to them, and you could find them in Indian stores or specialty stores, usually fresh. I have never seen them frozen. However, what you could do is buy them fresh and freeze them. They'll last for about 4 or 5 months in the freezer. Otherwise, like any longer than that, they'll just taste and smell like the freezer. Now, a little bit about this spice. It's also known as idili podi or miligai podi. I might have chopped up the pronunciation, but it's not necessarily a spice blend, but instead it's a dry chutney that's usually found in South India. A quick tip: you can use a mortar and pestle to blend this up or grind it up, but it is so time consuming, and my molcajete is very small, so it didn't necessarily work as well as I would like it to. But I wanted to just demonstrate that yes, you can definitely do this in a molcajete. I later opted to just throw it into my spice blender and blended it up that way. It worked great. And another tip would be to make sure you ground it fairly fine. Having some big chunks of the chickpeas was interesting when you bite into it. The texture is great, but it feels like you could potentially chip a tooth. So don't do what I did and just blend it a little bit more fine. Later, while reading Sohla's book, this is most often eaten with dosa or steamed rice cakes called idili. Around their house, they just call it a fun dip. And she states that she reaches for this daily to dunk apple wedges, spicy radishes, and crunchy cucumbers in, or she sprinkles it over hard-boiled eggs and roasted potatoes. I tested it with roasted potatoes. Fantastic. Delicious. I really enjoyed it with the spread that is going to be shown a little bit later in this video. So keep on watching, you'll see the beautiful arrangement that I made for this. I guess you probably saw it in the thumbnail, but you could actually see a little bit more up close and personal with this crudité platter that I made. Please note that at the end of making this, there really aren't any measurements that are right or wrong. The final seasoning is your choice because of how salty, sweet, and spicy you'd like it. The gunpowder spice is a very personal decision, and you need to go on that journey alone. Sohla states anyways. But take your time, add the salt, sugar, and chili, a fat pinch at a time, and taste it with every addition just like you would taste with anything that you're making. I opted to add a little bit more Kashmiri chili powder, a little bit more MSG, and a little bit more salt because I kind of love spice, so I made it just spicy enough to where it has a slight burn, but the sugar amount in there kind of assists with cooling that down and rounding out the flavors. And then just making sure you have enough salt kind of makes everything pop, especially if you're serving it with, raw cooked or fruit. Even on some eggs would be delicious. If you're making a savory yogurt bowl, dosa, or roti, anything. The world is your oyster with this spice. Just test it out. If you don't like it, hey, then that's fine. At least you tried it, right? In the end, Sohla states that this should taste savory, spicy, slightly sweet. She also mentions to store the gunpowder spice at room temperature for up to 6 weeks. Overall, this spice blend or dip is delicious. I really, really enjoyed it. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please give the video a like, comment, subscribe. I like hearing your feedback on my videos. They only get better with your help. And I have one last video from Sohla's cookbook that I'll be doing, and it is on a tres leches cake. So again, hit that subscribe button. Come check out the video, see my past videos, and give comments on everything. Positive, negative, any feedback's great. Until then, enjoy the edible arrangement and get dipping.